All right, let's get started. So first of all, if this is your first leader call, I want to welcome you to the group. We've been hosting these Olive Star and above calls since we started here to really just be able to collaborate with our leaders and do some planning. And if you're not muted, please mute yourselves. Um, and that way we could kind of get together. We could talk about higher level needs for the teams, problem solve things, stuff like that. So I want to kick us off today. We were supposed to have Kristen Cooper and Maisha come on, but Kristen really felt the need to do a recap of the synergy call because there was so much out there to talk about, and that was totally fine. So just kicking us off with talking about our retreats. So let me just clarify for everyone. There are two retreats that you all were running for, whether you knew it or not. The first is Scottsdale. So that's our Glow Grove team retreat. And that is happening the weekend of, I think it's March 8th. In Scottsdale, Arizona, and you had to hit Olive Star 2 times in the period between July 2024 and December 2024 to go. It didn't need to be consecutive, just needed to be twice. Okay. And so when we first started planning this, the qualifications were green Olive Star, and I booked a room block based on, what I anticipated would be the number. Then we changed the qualifications because we wanted to include as many people as we possibly could. But the thing with the room block is
You
that
will serve the
I
Lord
am,
our God and obey him. Just
wait, okay, okay. So the thing with the room block is that I had to personally guarantee rooms that were not going to be used. So of course I wanted to be more conservative rather than be more liberal with that. And so we booked as many as we thought we needed, and then we asked to book more. Especially because the first night on Thursday night is a leader dinner, and we didn't know that's for Green Olive Star and above, and we really weren't sure how many people would go in Thursday versus Friday. So I spoke with my contact at the hotel yesterday. She said there were still 6 rooms that were not blocked. If you go to the room block link, and it looks like there's X's through the whole calendar, but if you click on the 7th and 8th, it will say available. Okay, because those are put aside for us. So if you are going, we need you to block those as soon as possible because we really need to figure out who still needs a room. The other thing we anticipated is that we have many rooms. The 6 rooms that were left yesterday were 2 queen bedrooms. And we were hoping that people would share a room. Okay. So whether it was 2 people or 4 people, look, I've been on a lot of leader retreats, and you can ask Megan Bancroft. We shared a room in Florida probably a decade ago. There were 4 of us in there. Is it the most comfortable with 4 people? No, but at the very least, we were all in the same place. And I would hope that if you have a room with 2 people, and you have 2 beds, that maybe you would consider opening it up. I have a 1 bedroom suite. It has a sofa bed and a king bed, and I have 4 people in my room. So, I don't love having a sorority house in my room either. I'm 46 years old, probably don't need to bunk up with that many people, but like for the greater good, I want to make sure everyone has a place. Our alternative, if we cannot get more rooms, which I do not believe for Friday and Saturday that we can, is that we will look for a hotel close by or an Airbnb. Okay. For you guys. But again, I'm not going to be able to negotiate probably another room block because these room blocks mean that I have to personally guarantee these amounts of rooms. That being said, January 15th was the date that we were asking for solid RSVPs. And the reason for that is because we have to order our swag, we have to make reservations for our outings, and we need a solid head count. So I would kindly ask you in the next week to figure out if you're joining us in Scottsdale. And if you are, to make sure you have a roommate or a room, and to, pay the $400 to Mackenzie so that we can count you in. Okay. If you decide to RSVP after that, we cannot guarantee we'll have enough swag or enough room at a table for reservations. We really, really need to get that done because we are like already 2 months in advance, the places that we're looking at are filling up. So we definitely want to get into like the best places we can for dinners and outings and stuff like that. And so that's where I'm at with that. Okay. So, and Shannon, Tyson, not Shannon Hollins, said she has a room and she has room in her room. So thank you, Shannon. I appreciate you for opening up your room. Way to take one for the team. And I'll be honest, sometimes like Shannon Hollins can tell you that we were total strangers. I had a room at a leader retreat in Arnaf when we were going to Florida, and I was sharing it with another girl that I was friends with. And Shannon needed a room, and I was like, "Sure, you can come stay with us." So she was the third person in the room. She was a total stranger. Walked in, introduced ourselves, and we became the closest of friends. And that is how she ended up here with me a decade later. So I mean, like, you don't know who you're going to meet. You might meet your next best friend, and if you would just be open to sharing your room, then we wouldn't have people scrambling to like find a room. So that would just be really helpful and I would totally appreciate it. Okay, so that is Scottsdale. The other retreat that some of you qualified for and some of you are on the wait list for is the Banff Canada retreat. So that is the weekend of July 18th, I believe, 2024. And that is an over the top retreat. So I love a like intimate retreat with like 20, 30 of us. It's like those have been the best in my experience. You really get to know people. So Banff Canada, this retreat was organized by Kristen Cooper, who is another leader not on our team. Then she decided to open it up to our team and a couple of other teams. There were limited spots. There were 50 spots for these other teams. Okay. And so it was sort of whoever hit Olive Star first qualified. And so we have it graphic that we know who qualified. Hopefully, if you qualified, you've been added to the Banff chat, or if you're on the wait list, you've been added to the Banff chat on Telegram. And so that way, because there are people who can't go or are just not going. And so we're going through the wait list soon. Okay. Now, with that, also, because there was only so many rooms that we could block, like for example, I booked a room, it has 2 beds. I'm going to have 4 people in my room. That's just what's going to have to be, or else not everyone on the wait list will be able to go. Okay. So they are right now having the leaders who qualified as room reservers reserve their rooms and then figuring out who's staying where and stuff like that. Okay. So I want you to know that the Banff retreat there's about $500,000 being poured into it. It is basically like a mini convention. It is corporate will be there. We do have someone from corporate coming to our retreat also, as far as I know. But it will not be like a intimate gathering. There's like over 1,000 people who probably will be there. And it is costing like almost $500,000 to produce this, of which the president Olive Stars are all hosting, okay, including myself. So we're all putting money in to host this big event. So if you qualified for Banff, I would highly encourage you to go. I'm going to go. I wasn't going to go in the beginning. I was like, it's kind of expensive, but I'm going to go. I think it'll be a really good opportunity for social media. I think people want to remember that like we qualify for these things, and normal people who, work normal jobs often don't get to qualify for things like this. So if you did qualify for Banff, I would encourage you to really seriously consider looking into going. I think it's going to be totally over the top, and I think it's going to give people a lot of FOMO. Okay. All right, so that's about the retreats. Next, I want to talk about I had a conversation with Chelsea Ramage, who's one of our senior national directors, and she came from Rodan and Field, so I already had a relationship with her, which was kind of nice because she calls me and we talk things through, and sometimes she'll call and ask for my ideas on things, which is like super nice. But I love that we have this pre-existing relationship. So one of the things we were talking about is that these promos, and of course I'm like, why do we keep having these promos? Like personally, I don't love these continuous promos. It trains our customers to wait for promotions to buy things. Like, is not my idea of good business, but it's not up to me. Now, they're trying to help people hit certain goals, right? Because they just launched all of these new incentives and programs, which for the first time in a year and a half, we finally have real programs, like a real direct sales company, which is great. It gives us sort of a compass, like a North Star. So let's talk about some of the things that I think are key takeaways for leaders. Number one of the insights she gave me is that often when we have these promos, we have existing customers that come back and they're buying for a second, third, fourth time. The goal in the promotions is to generate new customers. Okay. So that's one of the problems is that corporate is having is that it's great that our customers are coming back and they're buying again. But the goal with these promotions is to build new customers and to expand the reach of, the brand and to really, give people an opportunity like today's promotion to spend a certain amount and get something that they maybe wouldn't have wanted to pay for. Okay. So knowing that as leaders, okay, everything I tell you, I want you to think like a leader. I want you to think, okay, I have this team. How should I be incentivizing them? Right. And so, like, for example, you might think to yourself, maybe I'll throw out like an incentive for like get a new customer and you're entered to get a Starbucks gift card for $5 or like, play on, think about how you can incentivize people to meet these goals. Okay. And so one of the things that Cortland talked about the other night was this sort of these foundational, he showed us an image, like a graphic, and it was the foundational title ranks. So there are foundational title ranks and there are pass-through title ranks. Okay. And so, for example, Silver Olive 2000 in org volume is considered a foundational one. It's also something that you need as an Olive Star to maintain that and to grow. Okay. So, one of the things we know about Silver Olives is that if they're coming in and somebody hits Silver Olive right away, 2000 in org volume, and it's their own personal sales, right? They're making 30% of that. So, it's about a $600 paycheck. A $600 paycheck is enough to keep someone sticky, meaning they're more likely to stay here and to keep working and to be motivated with a $600 paycheck. Okay. That is why Silver Olive is a foundational rank. Okay. Because it's sticky. If you were at Rodan and Fields, we called that level 2. Most people who were level 2 were more likely to move on to level 5. Okay. So we want to be able to get people to Silver Olive as quickly as possible. I'm going to have to say, hold on for 1 sec. Hey, Dad, I'm on a Zoom, but we're safe and everything's okay. I'll call you back. Okay. My dad left yesterday morning. He was here for 2 weeks and he left to go back to China where he lives yesterday morning. And then all hell broke loose. And he's called me 3 times today, but I was in the office with patients. And so I couldn't answer. And he's probably thinking, like, did the house burn down? Like, are you safe? Right. And so I wanted to make sure and just tell him, like, we're okay for now. We're fine. At least we have power. This is an improvement from yesterday. And we had like these crazy winds all night. And now there's like maybe 10-mile-an-hour winds outside. So it's like much better. At least where I live, people are still losing their homes left and right. And like I have friends who've lost their homes. So it's incredibly devastating. But I also feel like if you live in LA, you're used to having fires, sadly enough. We have a fire season. This is actually not fire season. This would be really late in the game for fire season, but these 100-mile-an-hour winds like are going to cause problems, especially because we're not equipped for it like the Southeast is. All right. Outside of the weather and the problems here, we were talking about Silver Olive and why it's important to get people to Silver Olive. So one of the things that I would do, guys, is I would incentivize people to get to Silver Olive. Your new consultants in your organization, can you create an incentive? Can you create coaching calls to help people get to Silver Olive? Because we know that those Silver Olives
Mike,
usually turn into
Taj calling you.
black olives, and at black olive, they're really sticky. Okay. And so think about from a leadership perspective that your goals are to generate as many silver and black olives as quickly as you can when they first start. Okay. Yes, we want them to get to Olive Star. Yes, we want them to get to Violet Olive. But Violet Olive, for example, is a pass-through rank, right? Green Olive at 500. Most people hit that when they buy a kit, or Violet Olive at 1,000. Those are pass-through ranks. They are not foundational. Somebody who's making, that somebody who hits 1,000 in sales and is making $250 is not enough to motivate them and keep them here. Okay, but someone who's making $600, which is just $1,000 more in org volume, is sticky enough. Okay, so again, as leaders, we're going over this so that you know how to incentivize your teams, how to coach your teams. I would love to see all of you doing sort of coaching calls, check-ins, right? Recognition for those people who hit Silver Olive. It's almost like I wanted to create like a Silver Olive Club called like SOS. I don't know, Silver Olive Society. I wanted to make it like a team thing, like an SOS, kind of like this urgency to get to Silver Olive because that's like the first foundational rank. And so I'll probably do something like that. Originally, I was like, let's do a recognition for Silver Olive, like the 20, like 2000 by the 20th. But it is a hard rank to get if you're brand new. So we'll do it at the end of the month. But maybe like you hit Silver Olive and I'll host a coaching call just for those people who hit Silver Olive, for like the first time or something to get them to like Black Olive, right? So we want to, the goal with these programs, when corporate puts out programs, it gives us as leaders a compass on how we should be coaching. So when they laid out those foundational levels, I now know kind of where to coach people to get to, right? Even if they're not qualifying for those new consultant bonuses, they joined in, I don't know, August. I at least know where I want to get them to. And that's important. Okay. And it should be important for you as leaders also, because you have growing teams. You need those silver olives to maintain your olive star status and to keep growing. And they're going to need silver olives too. So everything you do, you're like modeling for people what they should be doing as leaders. Okay. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions about any of that? Okay. So let's talk about the new bonus program, the Sprint to Success program for just a minute here. And
Jenna,
then,
sorry,
yes.
it's Megs. I just have a quick question. This
Yeah.
SOS thing that you're thinking about doing, you're going to be rolling that out this month, you said, or next month? And are you doing like SOS by the 15th, or you don't
No.
know the details?
So here's the thing. Hi, Bear. My beautiful daughter is going to cheer practice again for the third time this week. Wow. I'm on a Zoom, but I'm very proud of you. She's been asked to fill in on another team this weekend. We're going to a cheer competition in Sacramento and we're leaving on Friday. And so she competes on a regular team, and then another team, someone got injured or something, and they were like, can we borrow her? So if you know my daughter, she's like 5'7" and she's built like me, and she's flying, you guys. She's flying. Other people lifting up her 140-pound ass. And I was like, who got stuck with that job, to be honest? But luckily, it's like some of the strongest people in the gym. But when she's not a flyer, she's a base. So when she goes up in the air, I watched her for the first time yesterday. She looks like this. Like I was like, we're gonna have to work on your facials, sister, because like you just look fucking terrified up there. Like
That's
you don't
amazing.
even look like you're having fun with it. So anyway, she's going to an extra practice tonight because she's got to learn this how to be a flyer in 2 days, because she's competing as a flyer this weekend, which will be a one-time deal, because then the injured person will come back. But anyway, I told her early on in her cheerleading career, like, you're related to me, and genetically we are not flyers, my friend. We are bases. Um, we are not flyers. So anyway, I always like to mix in little fun stories. I want you guys to get to know me. So when I go off topic like that, like a lot of you know me from Rodan and Fields, and I don't know a lot of you. And I want to get to know you, because one of the things you'll learn about me is that my team is like my family. My leaders are like my sisters. I don't have a husband. I don't need a husband. I would love a husband just to like travel around with, maybe someone to take my cans to the curb on trash day, because like I fucking hate that job. But like, outside of that, my team is like my family. And so it's really important to me that you guys get to know me, my kids, my life, my heart, and where that's at. And that's why we spend one time a month, getting together and doing this kind of thing, because I think it's important to honor you as leaders and to invite you into my world. And I hope that you'll invite me into yours. So my daughter just came in here. Normally I would put them on Zoom, but they're teenagers and they're like this. Like anytime there's a camera around, they're like this. So it's like that phase we're in. So anyway, all right, we talked about Silver Olive. So let's talk about this Sprint to Success program. So I am not a big fan of, I think it's really tacky when people are like, join me now and earn up to $80,000 in bonuses. Like that is so misleading, because the truth is that a lot of people are not going to earn that. There is the potential though to earn at least $1,000. I would say like a $1,200 like is really easy. It's not that hard to do. So like I enrolled someone in December, and she's a girl I knew from RNF, and I called her up and I said, V, you have to find 3 business partners and let's get you to Black Olive so that you can at least collect the $1,000 plus the 200. And that's like $1,200 extra. Done. Like find the 3 people and we'll get there. So I think that if you guys are out there, try and, if you're going to use the Sprint to Success incentive, focus on the doable bonuses. Okay. The bonuses that are doable, like we can get you $1,200 easy peasy in the next 4 months. They have 4 months to do it. It's every other month you get, a bonus. So, think about that in the way that you recruit and then train your teams to do that. So we're not like that tacky group that's like out there being like, join me and you'll get $85,000, which is like totally misleading, right? We are having an enrollment, like a business information meeting on Thursday that Lana is going to host tomorrow. And if school is canceled tomorrow, Lana, I'm happy to like jump on and help you however I can. Actually, wait, I think you planned it for like 5 or 5:30 and I'm not done at the office till 6. So maybe not, but always I'm trying to do that and jump in. Thursdays are just my little bit later days at the office. And so, all right, Lana's got it. And she is one of the best recruiters of all time. So she's literally was one of the top recruiters at Rodan and Fields for as long as she was there. And here it's like the same thing. So I definitely feel like if you have prospects, like invite them to hear more from Lana and she'll share some of those business basics. And, I would encourage you. Yeah, I'm going to keep going and stroking your, what. So I would encourage you guys all, like at Olive Star, my expectation of you is that you are all well versed enough in this business to host your own business information meetings. If you're not doing that, you are missing out. Okay. Because like, don't think that other leaders from other teams are not hosting them. Of course they are. Right. So if you're not doing it, someone else is, and they're inviting your prospects and the prospects of your team. Okay. So like, you don't have to. Just know that someone is going to invite them to hear more about it. And it could be someone from your team who's new, who doesn't know how to talk about this yet, but like wants to invite someone. Give them that opportunity. Be the closer for them. Okay. Be the closer for them. People aren't born good closers. They have to learn how to do it. And you have to give them that opportunity to learn from you. If any of you are hosting a business information meeting and you want to open it up to the team, all you have to do is post it on the team page. You don't have to ask me. You can just post it on the team page. In fact, I would love you if you did that, because I have hosted so many of them that the problem is that like people were inviting their people and it was the same people, and then they were hearing my story again. Right. So it's like kind of like they only heard from me. Triva and I are a good pair on those. And so we have one that we decided we are going to do on, girl, what day did we decide to do that? Why is it not in my calendar? I put it in the 20,
I know we said the end of January, but I know it was a Wednesday.
the 29th.
Okay.
Okay. So we agreed, Triva and I agreed to host our own virtual business, event on the 29th. So we will team up, give you, perspectives, our perspectives on the business and people a little more information. But, if you haven't done one, find someone to do them with. Pair up, share the load, and like learn the 3 Ps. Like I created a document called the 3 Ps. It's in boards under Growing Your Grove, that folder. And I think that like if you know those things, then you have enough to talk about. It's like the reasons why you would come to Oliveda, the product's work, the positioning of the brand, and the profit potential, right? And that's what people want to know. People want to know, is there still room to grow? How much money can I make? And does this shit really work? That's like what they want to know. Okay. Think about what you wanted to know when you were considering this opportunity and share that, because that's what they want to know. And I know you can do that because everyone's been in that position. Okay. I know that Shannon, you asked a question and I don't have the chat open. All right. They have to get to the volume on their own though, right? Yeah. So there's this is a topic in the leader chat, in the Black Olive Star chat, I think, or the president chat right now, about placements and the sprint bonuses, because there is some notations about like how many placements that person can have. And what they're trying to do is just eliminate the possibility that someone comes here and is just given a whole team and earns these bonuses. Okay. I'll be honest with you. I think that the possibility of the 85,000 and someone getting that is really going to be a previous top leader in another company, like a top leader or an influencer in another company who has that kind of reach and knows how to do this and doesn't need a lot of training, those are the people that are going to be the first to scoop up the full 85,000 and hit president in 10 months. Okay. And that's what it was meant for. I mean, that is really, come here, Abby. My dog wants to go outside. That's really what it was meant for, was, I think for those people, they want to bring in more of those top leaders from other companies. But along the way, there's a whole lot of other bonuses that regular people can get. And that's really where the sweet spot is. I don't think we promised people $85,000. I think we promised people $1,000. And then if they get more, they're like, pleasantly surprised, right? That would be my approach to it. Okay. So I think that we just have to, consider how we present it. And that's all I'm asking you to do as leaders. And then I'm asking you to coach your teams on how to do that. Okay. And we'll try to build in more in our Monday night calls about that. Speaking of Monday night calls, we are focusing heavily on the comp plan this month. Okay. And one of the reasons for that is the most questions I get is about how we're paid. And I feel like one of the best things you can do is answer questions about how we get paid, because so many people want to know how much money they can make doing something like this. And so I feel like it's really important that everybody knows the answers to that, which is why we chose comp plan as the first topic of the year. Okay. So if you haven't already, check boards, and there's a folder called family meetings, and family meetings is where you're going to find recordings of the important talks that we do. And so that's where I put them. So the first one that Maisha and I did the other night is already up. And then we're coming back this Monday. We're going to talk about Fast Start, how to be Fast Start qualified, all of that good stuff. Okay. And then in week 3, Lauren Cassay is going to come on. She's going to talk about team growth bonuses, since she's an expert in that. I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek tonight of what that looks like and why I missed out on $1,500, because I want you to learn from my mistakes. And then in the 4th week, we're going to have Michelle Good, and she gets really into the nitty gritty, and she is going to answer questions about the comp plan and talk about how to talk about it with prospects. Okay. But in terms of family meetings, one of the things you guys should know is every 4th Monday, I have a infusion for my Crohn's medications, and they drug me with Benadryl. So I can't train every single week. So I'm always looking for people who will volunteer to train on something. Now, maybe you're someone who's not that comfortable training. I totally get that. And you don't have to train. But if you're willing to step out of your comfort zone, if you're someone who's never done a training, but you're I think I have something to add. Maybe you're really good with customer retention. Maybe you're good with follow-ups, how to do a follow-up with someone, whether it's a customer or not, a prospect. Maybe you're good with, we've had events, but specific kinds of events, or the process you use to onboard someone, or anything really. Think out of the box. There's always someone who needs to hear from you. Meg comes on once a month, and or at least she has in the last few months, and she's given us a mindset training, and that is so necessary. So every first week of the month, I have built in mindset training. Okay. So Meg will be coming on the first week of February, and she will kick us off with mindset. So every first week of the month, we're going to have a mindset training. Okay. And so I think those are equally as important. So if you're someone who wants to do that, great. Whatever you can contribute, you are welcome to contribute. All I ask is that you put a little bit of thought into it and make sure that it adds value for somebody else. Okay. I have a Google Doc that I will post in the All-Star chat for people to start signing up. And what I was trying to do was pick a theme for every month and make it products, and then do deep dive into products, or prospecting, deep dive into prospecting. But there's so many product related trainings we could do that I was trying to alternate okay, product, then recruiting, product, then recruiting. I don't know that we'll have any rhyme or reason. I think what's most important is that we have a variety of trainers so that you're not hearing from the same people all of the time. Okay. In terms of, I'm going to share that in the Olive Star chat tonight so that you guys can start signing up. In terms of onboarding. So when we first started the Glow Grove, when I first got here, we were doing a ton of welcome onboarding calls. We did them twice a week for months because we were trying to get people up and running as fast as we could. And then it just got so overwhelming to do that many calls. So we started recording them and just having the recording available on boards. Okay. Now we have the onboarding modules, we have a welcome email. We have so many resources for people to get welcomed and onboarded. But that being said, I do like the idea of still having at least one welcome live onboarding call a month, because I feel like it's good for people to be able to ask questions live, like things like that, and to hear like goal setting wise, just reiterated. So I'm going to shoot to host one next Wednesday. I try to do one once a month. If any of you have a great idea, or you love your system for onboarding, I would love for you to host an onboarding call. It could even be during the day, like for the people who don't work and are at home, and that's better for them because their kids are at school or whatever it is. Like I can really only do in the evenings, but if you're someone who's like, I can offer something at noon Pacific time, great, like do it. You don't even have to ask. If you're trying to do, if you're doing a biz op, you don't have to ask. If you want to do an onboarding or welcome call, let me know, because I do have a slide deck that I'm working on to update, and I would love for someone to take over. So if you are really good at onboarding and you get like newbies and you get them plugged in and you're seeing that you're duplicating leaders, like let me know. Let's split this, let's split this responsibility here. Okay. So, so that's a big chunk of like some of the things I wanted to share with you, just in terms of like focusing on Silver Olive as something that's sticky, thinking about how you want to incentivize your own teams, knowing that, the foundational title ranks now and the pass-through title ranks. And then also, understanding that the programs involve an Olive Star retreat, but it's for people who joined in December and January. So corporate is now hosting an Olive Star retreat. It is for these newer people. So some people are like, well, what about me? Like, I feel hurt. What about me? That is why the Banff Canada thing exists. And we are working hard to get more room blocks for Banff Canada, so people who did achieve Olive Star last year can be a part of a big retreat where corporate is involved. Okay, so that's the reason for the Banff Canada thing. And that's the reason why corporate felt okay planning it for those who joined in December and January, because those people didn't have the opportunity to qualify for Banff. Okay. So if you want to go to Banff and you're on the wait list, certainly let me know, and I'll work on trying to get through the wait list as quickly as we can, and getting more rooms. It's just a matter of getting more rooms. So, all right. So there's this opportunity to go on the Olive Star retreat. Banff is pay for though. What is Banff? You have to pay to get yourself there. I think that's your question. Yeah, you have to pay all of these retreats. Oh, not the corporate ones, but the team ones. You always pay for yourself to go. You always pay for your flight, and usually you share your lodging. And then like sometimes like the dinners are covered and like fun things and stuff like that. That's usually like team retreats. But for Banff, yes, you pay for your flight and you pay for your hotel that you're splitting with someone, and then pretty much everything else is going to be taken care of. But for corporate retreats, they do cover your usually your flight and your lodging and whatever else they're planning. Okay. So there's that. And then the other opportunities to go on trips this year are for Black Olive Star and above. We are also working to encourage them to consider like a Silver Olive Star retreat. That's one of our goals, but like we had to start somewhere. So if you're close or you're running for Black Olive Star, go for it. Right. We're really focused on the first half of the year right now through June. So, whatever your goal is, just like go for it, because you never know what will happen. I mean, they're going to open Canada. They're going to open, other markets too. And so that will help. Okay. Yes, Treva, I would love a Silver Olive Star retreat. I think that would be the equivalent of like the premier trip if you were at Wordian and Fields. Okay. So we talked about the retreats. Now let's talk about team growth bonus for a second here. So Lauren Cassay called me up at 11 o'clock, or she texted me at like 11 o'clock on New Year's Eve. And she was like, hey, did you get all 3 team growth bonuses? And I was like, I think so. Like, I think I'm qualified for all of them. And so I went in my back office and I saw that I qualified for team growth bonus 1 and team growth bonus 2. But I was missing team growth bonus 3, which is $1,500. And I was bummed. I was like, wait, what did I do wrong? I thought I qualified for all of this. And it turns out that like I clearly was not aware of how to do this. So I'm going to share my screen with you and just take you into my back office for a second because I want to show you. Oh, wait, open system settings. Fuck, sorry, it's asking me. Zoom screen sharing. Okay. Later. Oh crap. I got this new computer and so it's telling me, okay, perfect. Here we go. No. Okay. So let's look at this for a second. Okay. So you guys can all see this. See where it says team growth bonus right here, team growth bonus 1. And then you can do a drop down to team growth bonus 2, right here. Okay. And it shows you like each person you're getting the growth bonus on. Okay. So this is like, there should be right here something that says team growth bonus 3. So you can see that I earned team growth bonus 1, which is $150 right here, and team growth bonus 2, which is $250. Okay. So that's $400. And then I could have earned $1,500 if I would have made sure to earn team growth bonus 3. Okay. Now, how do you do that? So team growth bonuses are based on growing by the rule of 3s, which is why our comp plan is like that. And this is just something that I thought, oh, wow, I didn't know this. So I assume you guys didn't know this, or maybe if you did, you're like way ahead of me. But we're also going to train the team on so that they can make sure they're qualified for you, because hopefully we don't have to miss out. So how do you know if you're qualified for a team growth bonus? So you go to your visual tree, right here in the back office, and you are looking for your top 3 legs. Okay. So your 3 leaders, right? So for me, that would be, I'm going to minimize this because I have like 100 and something directs, but you know, I'm going to go here to enrollment and instead I'm going to go to placement tree. Okay. So I can kind of see everybody. And I'm going to find my top 3 leaders. So for me, my closest legs to me would be Mackenzie, and then Jenna Blackley and Kristen DeZino. Okay. I also have Kelly Snyder's team. So I actually have 4. Okay. And Kelly Snyder was a placement to me from Maisha a long time ago. So I'm checking all of them to see. So I want to make sure that 3 of those 4 girls are qualified. So let's see, I go over here to Kristen. Okay. So right now, see right here where it says no has TGB 100 LRP, right? It says no. So that is not helpful to me. When it says yes is when it's helpful. Okay. See, here's Kelly. Kelly has either run her 100 LRP or has done 250 in sales. So I know Kelly is counting for me right now. Okay. I can go to, I'm looking for like a Jenna or Mackenzie, but let's just take Kelly here for a second. Okay. So then I know that, let's just say in a hypothetical world that Kelly, Mackenzie, and Jenna all say yes right here. They've run their 100 LRP or they've done their 250 in sales. That means that I've earned team growth bonus 1, that $150. Okay. Now, if I want to earn team growth bonus 2, I have to make sure that their 3 legs they have 3. Okay. They have 3 directs to them who also have this yes right here. Okay. So if I were looking at Mackenzie, which she had, I would look at Lauren, who is a yes. I would look at her direct Angela, who's a yes. And then I would look at, another one of her directs and I would say, oh, okay, they're all yes. So that line is covered. Then I got to go to Jenna Blackley's team and I got to see of her directs, does she have 3 direct to her? Okay. So here's Kelly. So I'm clicking on Kelly right here, who I placed under Kelly Snyder. She's a yes. Okay, so far, good. Carly, no. Lori College, no. So see, I'm just kind of going through and seeing all these people. And again, we're early in the month, you guys. So that's why there's all these people who have no's, but there will be a whole lot of yeses. Okay. And you'll see, okay, Erica Jacobson, that counts as a yes. So see, I'm just kind of going through each of these people to see. Haley was a yes. So Kelly Snyder right now has two directs who say yes. Now, by the end of the month, she'll have three. Okay. So that takes care of that level. So I'm going to earn team growth bonus number 2, right? Which is $250 extra by making sure that my directs each have 3 directs that have that yes. Okay. Then I'm going to take it a step further and I'm going to go to those people. Okay. So let's say I'm going to go to Kelly right here and I want to focus tree on Kelly. Sorry, Kelly, I'm using you as an example here. Okay. So here's Kelly's org. And I'm now going through and I'm seeing, all right, of Kelly's people, here's Jen, and Jen is a yes, right? And now I'm looking for my 3 yeses of these people. All right, so we will have more to, again, we're early in the month, but no one else here is a yes, okay? Now it's only 3 generations down, okay? But so not only do I have to go, if I wanted to use Kelly's leg, right, Kelly Snyder, I would have to go and make sure that Kelly, the other Kelly S, I get confused. I'm like, you're both Kelly S. The other Kelly S who's placed with her, that she has her directs, right? And then I would have to go to Jenna Blackley's team and I would have to find her 3 people and then make sure those 3 people have 3 people under them with a yes. And I do that for all 3 of my like main legs. And then once I know they're all yeses, I would then qualify for that team growth bonus number 3, which is $1,500. Okay. So this was something that for me, I like had learned about later. Okay. Like I literally just dug into it on New Year's Eve because I'm such a loser that I didn't have anything else to do. I'm sure people like Michelle who reads the details and things knew about this and didn't tell me earlier. I know you knew about this. No,
I
I'm kidding.
taught Lauren.
Okay. Well, then, yeah.
I haven't been able to achieve it, but I knew how it worked.
Well, you figured it out. In all fairness, I always ask Michelle when there's something like detail oriented because she is that person and I am not. I'm good. I have other strengths, my friend. I have other strengths, but Michelle is like our resident librarian who reads all the fine print and I am not. So, but I love you for that, my friend. And so, yes. So I know I see you guys saying like, I was not aware of this. I was not aware of this. Okay. So Michelle, if there's anything you want to add to this, I would love if you would add to this because
you can earn that more than one time. So
Yes.
you could, so it says right on the sheet, I just pulled this, I had it right near me. It says on there how many times you can earn the team growth bonus depending on your level. So like if you're Olive Star, you can earn it twice. So if you have 6 people across your front and then they have each of them, so those are 2 sets of 3, and then each of those have 3 people under them, and then you have each of them with 3, you could actually earn 3,000, what's it like 1,500 plus 250
400.
plus, yeah, like you
So-
could do, if you did all 3 levels, you would, or, you know,
you would essentially have, you know, that 15, so almost $4,000 extra a year. But if you're Olive Star. Now, what is it if you're
no, I think you can earn it more than one. So like,
Yeah.
so no, but no, like isn't it 1,500 for one whole thing?
I thought it was, if you look at mine, it says 150 and then 250.
And
So
then
I'm
the third
starting-
level.
is 1,500. So it's
Yes.
plus.
Well, you can earn that entire like tree twice if you're Olive Star. You can
Right,
earn
that's
that
$1,900.
6 times. If you're President Olive Star, so you would say 6 times, what's that, 2,000?
Yes.
In
No,
just-
it's
a month.
yeah, 2,000 a month. That's right. So that's an extra 12,000 a year for me,
No,
right?
It's if it's 2,000 for one of those, but let's say you developed an organization that you didn't have just the 3, you had 6 and you did it all over again.
Yeah.
You could have 4,000 a month extra to, you know, like it can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a cumulative.
yeah.
And so, right. So this is money, guys, that I was on New Year's Eve, call me nerdy, but I was sitting here recovering from surgery and I was looking through a bunch of yours. And all y'all were missing a lot of money. You were leaving a boatload of money on the table. And I was thinking, man, I need to train on this and I need to train on this soon because people are missing out. And it's so easy to be qualified. You either run your LRP for 100 or you sell 250 in product. That is it. So if your people, you got to think about your people. So when you're thinking like a leader and you have your leader hat on and you're thinking of your incentives, which is why I threw out and will every month, one person is going to get reimbursed their 100 LRP for running LRP, right? Because that benefits all of us. Your people need to be qualified for this team growth bonus. And rather than calling them at the 11th hour on the last day of the month and going, can you put in an order? Or do you have anyone else you can sell anything to? Which is so gross and icky, which I would never do. Like they're already going to be qualified. So you're not going to have this problem. Michelle, yes. Just
Well,
unmute, take over.
You could, okay, let's say somebody is at 225 in sales and they're just short. You could buy a $25 gift card under them to get them to 250. And you can, you know, you get the gift card sent to you. So you're buying it like as a customer because, you know, our customer accounts can go to under anybody. So you can actually create it if you want to.
The other thing you can do is you can place someone there. So that's why I was looking at a bunch of yours was I was thinking, okay, if I had someone who came on a kit who, you know, I don't know very well or whatever, and they have like 170 in their personal sales, who can I put this person under to get them qualified to help me? Right. And so the reason this is so important is because a lot of you all are just starting to build your depth. And I want you to think about in your placements, don't just be placing with someone because they're your friend and you want to build that leg or whatever. Really think once you get to like the 25th of the month, really think to yourself, how can I get myself that team growth bonus as fast as possible and as many times as possible? And you're going to want to start building up that third generation, right? That third level under you so that you have that. Okay. So Lauren is training on this on the 20th, Mackenzie. Good question. So next week is fast start bonuses, fast start eligibility. That's our focus. And we're going to talk about some of these, you know, more in depth about the programs that just came out because fast start won't take me the whole time. So we want to cover some of the stuff that was just, you know, announced, but, we certainly want to tell people about this because this is like somehow like possibly the best kept secret in our comp plan that we can easily do. Okay. And one of the ways other than spending money and buying a gift card to do that as a leader, which my expectation is of you, is to continue recruiting. The best thing you can do to grow and rank, you guys, is recruit. Okay. You want to have 30 to 40 directs in order to hit those higher levels of people. And I don't mean just 30 to 40 directs who are doing nothing. Okay. I hit Black Olive Star with 42 directs. I think Mackenzie had just a few less than that. But I would say, like, when I'm coaching someone, I always say, if you want to get to Black Olive Star, which should be on all of your goals for this year, you really want to shoot to have 30 to 40 directs that are working, not like 30 to 40 discount buyers, right? And remember that 1 in every 10 people is going to be a rock star. So I have, let's say, 112 directs right now. I would say 10 to 12 of them are total rock stars and the rest are not. And that's just a numbers game. Okay. It's like that in all of direct sales. So you want to find your 10 to 12 that are total rock stars because guess what? Some of you who have joined me, whether it's Leanne or Misha or Shannon or, you know, Meg or Kelly, a bunch of you joined me directly and I placed you. And the reason for that is because I want to spread my rock stars out throughout my organization. It doesn't help me to have all my strong people direct to me. That's the benefit of this comp plan is that we can help others advance in title. We can give them that success and we can strengthen our own organizations by putting people in specific places. And Triva, I'm going to do a whole placements training also. I can even probably squeeze that in somewhere in January if I can get my daughter rides to cheerleading. But yes, I can do a placements one. I did one in the past on a leader call with Lauren Kissay, and it was really good. But what I'll give you for those of you that came from Rodan and Fields or from another company, I'll give you this sort of analogy here is that it's not an analogy, it's just a story. But at Rodan and Fields, I had 100 directs. Okay, now we couldn't do any placements. Bye, Bear, love you. Have a good practice. Be careful. And so, you have I had these 100 directs at Rodan and Fields, which by the way, took me 10 years to get. Okay. 10 years to get 100 directs. So here it took me a year. Right. And I feel like at Rodan and Fields, we couldn't place them. So I had all these great people direct me. And in order to hit the top of the pay plan, you needed what's called 5 level 5 leaders. Now, each of those people had to have 8 directs that were working. Okay. If I could have taken 80%, 90% of my directs and placed them into the organization, that would have strengthened my level 5 legs and given them more success and more stability. Like that is the most selfless thing you could do, right? Is to give it to someone else. The reason that my organization at Rodan and Fields was so powerful and so strong is because I was extremely strategic about the way that I built anchors. Okay. And anchors are people within your organization at different levels who are those people, who are the bigger earners, the bigger ranks. Okay. And I'll talk about that when I do my placements training, but think about it this way. When I hit level 5, my regional director at the time was Meredith Teason, and she said to me, okay, Jenna, now your goal is to make sure you have a level 5 at every generation, 1 through 6, because that's what we got paid on. Okay. And so I found people in my organization and worked with them to make them level 5s. Okay. Because that meant stability, like all the way down. Then when I hit a car driver, which was 125,000 in volume, then Meredith said, okay, now you want to have a car driver at every generation in your 1 through 6. So I went back to those leaders and I was like, okay, we're going to get to car drivers now. So I had someone at 125,000, 6 generations deep, every level, right? So when things started to sort of unravel at Rodan and Fields, my volume was still hundreds of thousands because I developed early on these key anchors in every generation. I don't need 1 million people direct to me. I need my rock stars between my top 3 generations here. Now, the reason why I'm not working on the reason why I don't place people super far below that, and I have, but I don't do it often, is because I am counting on you, right? You to recruit like I do, and then build out your top 3 generations, which are my generations 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm hoping that the people that you're coaching do the same thing. And they're building out my generations 7, 8, and 9, right? And this is the way you're building a sustainable organization over time. Okay. And that is the secret to the strategy. It is about duplicating those key leaders at every level. So you cannot keep them all close to you. There is a sacrifice in the short term in that you're losing some commissions, right? Because you're making more when they're direct to you. You're making 10% instead of 5% or whatever it is. But then you're making up for it because you're elevating in title, right? And you're getting quarterly bonuses. So it's like a wash, right? I've heard leaders say, oh, I don't like to place people because then I lose the commission on their sales. And I'm like, yeah, but then if you're another rank, I make $6,000 a quarter at Black All Star. That's $24,000 a year extra. And it's probably more than that I would make on that person's extra 5%, right? So just think of it like strategically, guys. That's all I want for you. My hope is that every single fucking one of you is going to be Black All Star and you're going to be strategic about it. And that in 10 years, you're going to be like, fuck, I remember that one leader call where Jenna sort of started to talk to us about this and like you strategically looked at it. And let me tell you guys, if you want help with this, if you need my help, you freaking send me a text. I'll put my number right here in the chat. All you have to do is text me. If you want to text me and say, hi, this is so-and-so, I'll save your number right now and say, can you go over placements with me? Right. And that what I like to do is put like sticky notes on the wall and kind of play with people and go, okay, let's put this person here, this person here. I will do that with you. I love doing that. Okay. So that is what I had on deck for you tonight. I'm going to stop the recording so that I can answer your questions. And I'm sorry if you're not here live, then you didn't get to ask a live question. But I love you.